Alright guys, welcome to part 3 of this tutorial series for the Personal Assistant Macro Maker. In this video we're going to go over 5 tips and tricks to make the most out of PAMM and how to work with it on your system. Alright, so let's jump right into it. The first tip is to, whenever possible, use keyboard shortcuts instead of clicking to create your macros. So maybe you want to create a macro for going to YouTube. So one of the ways I could do that is, let's say I first want to create a new tab. I could click on this plus button of my browser to open a new tab and then type in youtube.com. But then that presents a lot of problems. For example, what if I'm running PAMM and I want it to create it, but I already have 2 or even 3 tabs pulled up? You never really know where this plus button is going to be when you try to go run it. So the safer thing to do to make sure it runs every time is to use a keyboard shortcut. So for Chrome, I believe it's Control and T. So there I can hit those 2 buttons and it'll open a new tab no matter how many tabs I could have. So I recommend looking up keyboard shortcuts for what you're trying to do. Unless you're pretty sure, like if you want to just do clicking, then and you know it's going to be in those coordinates each time you click, then that's fine too. Okay, the next tip to remember is Control plus A button is your friend. So Control A allows you to select all of the text in a document. So if I want to do something like this, and then I can copy with Control C. Or if I'm in a browser and I need to make sure that I grab all the text each time, I can do Control A, and then I can type away to whatever I need. If you use Control A, you ensure that no matter where PAMM is clicking, it will take out the old text if you're trying to replace it with a new value. By using Control A, you make sure that everything's selected and you get the address that you're hoping. Alright, so that's tip 2. The next tip is to keep your programs in a folder that's in a common area that you know where you can get to it. So if I want to, say there's certain programs that I'm commonly open with PAMM, I could keep all these shortcuts in a folder on my desktop and then just have it in a location where I know, okay, this is where I'm going to use to open the programs. And that way, when I go to record the macros, I can just open the folder and click on the program I'm trying to open. And this is a part of the next tip, which is because PAMM can't record double clicking, if you ever want to open something on Windows, you can always right click and then you can left click on the open selection, which will open the options for you. And this way you can make sure, okay, here's all my shortcuts. So if I say, hey PAMM, open up Chrome, and then I can teach it to, select the particular app that I'm wanting. Alright, so tip number 5 is to, whenever possible, keep your windows maximized. And this is important because, especially if you're using clicking, you want to know where things are on the screen. So whenever I'm working, say I'm using graphic design software or even things like Excel, and I want to make sure that whenever I click on a certain tab or menu item, it's always going to be in the same location. And the best way to do that is to either keep your windows maximized or keep them in a location that's is going to be always the same. Okay, so that's it for our 5 tips and tricks. Next tutorial we're going to cover how to run assistant mode and certain features that are included in that menu. So we'll see you next time.